See, this is the left trying to do monetary policy, trying to talk economics. The petrodollar is not what everybody's trying to make it out to be. Okay. The fact of the matter is that
it's just our currency.
We have the ability to do whatever the fuck we want. The problem is that people conflate other countries that require our dollars. Okay. They have to purchase those dollars on the open market, or they have to earn them through doing business with us in some way, shape, or form, or whatever. So they're very concerned about the quote unquote value of the dollar so they can get it to make their oil purchase. Let's just say the petrodollar system vanished tomorrow. The fact of the matter is, as long as the U.S. IRS is able to enforce a tax, regardless of whether you like it or not, the dollar will have plenty of buying power. The issue will not be whether it can buy things. The issue will be whether we get cheap imports. And if we don't get cheap imports, guess what? They're going to bring production home. And guess what? We're going to buy domestic. We're going to buy a replacement product. But other countries are going to step up and say, hey, we want a piece of that 350 million person market in the U.S. And so it breaks my heart that lefties live and die on the petrodollar, because it's just a sign that they don't really fully understand the way a currency operates. All these other countries, they don't have a petrodollar. But what do they have? They have fucking universal health care. What do they have? They have free college. What do they have? They don't sit there and have to work till they're 54 to earn their little stipend of TANF food or SNAP food or whatever. So this stuff really bothers me, because instead of focus, like I watch some of my good friends that have good big channels, get lots of views, talking about the end of the dollar. So what do? I go out and get a real economist to come and talk to me that understands the flows. Yan Ling, who is a Chinese economist and MMT economist from Willamette University. She was this Saturday's Macro and Cheese. And she talks not only extensively about the BRICS and how it's great, we really need additional choices out there, but it doesn't spell the end of the US dollar by any stretch of the imagination. But every one of these YouTube channels and big block letters, the end of the dollar. It's like a Ron Paul, Peter Schiff kind of 3 a.m. Bitcoin kind of garbage commercial. And we have people that are sadly addicted to this kind of James Bondism that is going to really makes us look incompetent when we talk to our friends and relatives, and not just them, but when we're looking at the people we're really trying to fight and take on. They know the story and they're like, we don't have to worry about them. They're still talking petrodollars. You know, it's like literally, it's just like take yourself right out of the game. And I don't mean that mean. I'm not trying to be harsh. My problem is that I'm trying to help us understand that anybody can create a currency. Like Zimbabwe, right? They had their own currency and they had hyperinflation. Well, why did they have hyperinflation? They had hyperinflation because number one, Mugabe had taken all the crops away from the colonizers, gave it to the warriors, and the warlords didn't know how to farm, but the colonizers did, and the colonizers on the way out the door flipped the match in the field, set them on fire, brought the productive capacity way down, and it didn't matter how many Zimbabwean bucks you had, there wasn't enough food to go around. So you were going to have hyperinflation, but they're going to say, oh, but the petrodollar, Stop. There's real answers out there. That ain't it. And I see these big channels hyping up the petrodollar like it's freaking mother's milk, and people lapping it up, and they come to me and I'm just like, I love you. My God, how much money do I have to give you to stop saying petrodollars?
Yeah.
Can I give you my son? Can I give you my home? Will you stop saying petrodollars? I'll cut my foot off. Will you stop saying petrodollars? Will you stop?
Well, I will say that my knowledge of it, really, to the extent that I have any knowledge of it, is the fact that the countries that don't want to deal with us and want to deal with other countries, those are the countries we tend to villainize the most. Those are the countries where we, of course, want to have, our coups. So when we start talking smack about Venezuela, my only thought is, because they're not on the petrodollar. They don't want to play our game, right? But that was my only even thought of it, was that just, and I do still think that that's why we hate those countries, because they don't want to play with us.
Well, think of it like this. It's not so much the currency as it is the system, the SWIFT
Right.
system, the payment system. Okay. Because when we do business with China, think about this. Just think of the flow with us with China. China sells us goods and services into the US. You're not sitting there scrounging around for some loose yuan. You're not wondering if you've got any British pounds. You're not scrumming around looking for some Australian dollars. No, when they sell goods and services into the US, it's transferred into US dollars. And those payments then are held at the Fed. Those people, whoever they are, can make a choice. They can either A, take that money and invest it in bonds of the US government, which makes up our debt, but they haven't done anything. We're not printing new money. They've literally, that's their money. They earned it selling goods and services to us. They earn a nominal interest rate, 2%, whatever, over a period of time. You'd be an idiot not to take that deal. It's not like some big, massive debt.
Right.
So people just don't plug this stuff. Nobody uses dollars like in their country, like as their primary currency, unless, of course, they're just a third world country that's got a million different things going on. Nobody knows what's going on. They're like, oh, here, take $1. I'll take that. Right. Sure, why not? Kind of thing. Bite the coin to see if it's real. But Steve, real quick, Peter, real quick. Let me finish this thought and I'll get on. I just want to make the point that what happens is that because other countries need US dollars because they've either pegged their currency to the US dollar, and therefore they need to have enough reserves in the bank of US dollar holdings to be able to manage US dollar transactions. Or the other part of that is that they want to buy oil. And so within that space, people will go out there on the open market, trade their currency for US dollars. And if the US dollar is high, then it's harder for them to get more dollars to pay for their stuff. It's the same Forex swap that everybody does. It just happens to be, in this case, US dollars for petroleum. It's really not a big deal. If they cut it off, we just cut that right off. And then we would deal with the 800 military bases around the world that are infusing every one of those nations with US dollars every day. If they don't want that, it's hard to fight an 800 base military. Let's just be fair. That's really what this is about. It's power.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.